Good morning, watch nerds. Now, on a sombre note, before I start, I'd just like to send my heartfelt sympathies out to those who lost their loved ones at Bondi Beach. So, who's seen Pulp Fiction? Well, if you haven't, it's one of the best films ever made, and my personal favourite. The reason I say this is because it's got a number of scenes filmed in the wrong order, but somehow the film, stroke movie, makes sense in the end. Now, I normally have a strict order in how I make these videos, but today I'm going to be a bit of a maverick and I'm going to mix things up. Now, I should mention that some years ago I owned this watch in salmon pink. It was the version 1, this being the version 2. I have to be honest though, differences are quite subtle, and what's more, there is now a version 3. Second Hour is a microband based in Melbourne, Australia, although if you live in the UK you can presently buy the newest version from WatchGecko for £449, although there's presently £80 off of the full price at the moment. Otherwise you're going to have to look on their own website and work out the taxes and the tariffs for yourselves. As it happens, I bought this good used version 2 from an eBay seller for a very reasonable price. And welcome to my unpaid and unsponsored review of the Second Hour Mandala version 2. I don't need to tell you that the star of the show here is the dial, so unusually I'll start with that, then move on to the dimensions. I think the version 2 came in 6 different colours, this being the light gold. Now we start off with twin layered dual colour chapter rings that lead into a satin finished outer section that houses the raised indices. Note, the indices at the 12, 4 and 8 are elongated, which has been a bit of a signature for Second Hour up to now. Now the centre section has got this stunning galoche pattern with an applied logo at 12 o'clock and Mandala above the frame date window at 6 o'clock. It's worth noting the watch comes with or without the date. The unusual forked hands and the indices are filled with no less than 8 layers of BGW9 loom, which is going to last you most of the night. Now here is that loom. So as promised, here are the dimensions. Now it's listed at being a 40mm watch, whereas the case actually measures near a 39.8. Now the depth is 10.5mm, and that includes a flat sapphire crystal with AR coating. The lug width is 20mm, and the lug to lug is 45.5mm. Now once adjusted to fit my 17cm wrist, it weighs in at about 115 grams. Now because of the compact lug to lug and the dial design, the watch does actually wear more like a 39 than a 40. Although it's the dial that will catch people's eyes, the case is intricate and the finishing is absolutely fantastic. What's more, due to the fact the case and the bracelet have got an 800 Vickers scratch-proof coating, it's likely to stay that way. The bezel is dual faceted, with the top section being polished and the sides being brushed. We then move on to the tops of the lugs, which are vertically brushed. Then a highly polished chamfer, which is duplicated at the bottom. Now the sides of the case, including the crown guards, are horizontally brushed, and as previously mentioned, to an incredible standard. Now it curves down beautifully, and it fits very well to the back of my wrist. Flipping it over, you can see it's got an exhibition case back, which is made of sapphire no less, and shows off the personalised rotor. It screws down to aid the watch's 100 metres of claim water resistance, and around the outside is engraved some basic information. The bracelet is as good as the watch. It's got a mixture of polishing and brushing. Now it's got no less than 9 links, although not actually separate links, and its slimness and articulation make it extremely comfortable. Now it tapers down from 20mm to 18mm, then back up to 21mm for the clasp. Now for easy adjustment there are screw pins, but it doesn't actually have any quick release spring bars. Now the end links fit absolutely perfectly to the lugs, and if you look carefully you can see they're inverted, which helps even further with the fit. The version 1 only had 3 micro adjustments on the clasp, and this has got 4, and the version 3 includes an on the fly clasp. As you can see, it's nicely brushed, it's got a polished chamfer and an embossed logo, and the mechanism is milled. To be honest, I think it's possible that it suits the watch better than the larger on the fly clasp. Now all in all, the bracelet and the clasp really are top notch. So what's allowing us to tell the time? Well, it's the virtually bulletproof Miyota 9015, although you get the 9039 if it's not the dated version. These movements are extremely reliable and if regulated correctly, are extremely accurate. It's a 4 Hz movement, which means it ticks away at 28,800 beats per hour, it hacks and it hand winds, and the power reserve is about 41 hours. I've mentioned before that some people moan about a noisy unidirectional rotor, but personally it's something I never notice when it's on the wrist. Now let's have a look at how it behaves on the time grapher. And there we go. When I received the watch, it was running a little bit fast at about 15 seconds a day. So I took the back off, had a little tweak, a couple of minutes later, and there we are. A fantastic beat error, a good amplitude although not fully round, and a very good rate. Like the rest of the watch, the 6mm screw down crown is a work of art. Its knurling is done in a crosshatch pattern, and of course it's signed. It engages easily, but doesn't have the buttery smooth action I really like. But I suppose you can't have everything. So such a nice watch deserves some nice packaging. And second, they haven't let us down. Now there's a decent quality cardboard outer box. Then inside that there's a nice leather type double travel pouch with a 2-year warranty inside that. You also get a screwdriver to adjust the bracelet and a tool to adjust the clasp. So what do I think of the second hour Mandala? If you want a dressy Garda watch, I find it hard to think of anything better. The owner of the brand clearly set out to offer a watch that not only looks fantastic, but it's got great spec and it won't cost a fortune. From the stunning dial to the incredible case finishing and that wonderful bracelet, this is a watch that any enthusiast would be proud to own. In actual fact, I've got no idea why I sold my first one. So that brings me to the end of this review. If you've enjoyed it, click on the like button, subscribe if you hadn't already, and don't forget to leave your comments below. Now this will almost certainly be my last video before Christmas, so as well as enjoying the rest of your day, have a great festive season.